Happy belated Thanksgiving, everyone. Hope you had a good one if you live in America, and if you live literally anywhere else, I hope you had a nice Thursday. Even if it kind of is the lamest American holiday. Real talk, what's even good about Thanksgiving? All you really do is have some food. I don't know about you, but I do that every day. And I mean, it's not even good food. What do you have for Thanksgiving? Turkey, the blandest of the birds. Then there's stuffing, the packing peanuts of the dinner table. With mashed potatoes and gravy, admittedly, solid pick, would order again, but not exactly exciting. You get some cranberry sauce, and I'm one of those few crazy people who actually likes cranberry sauce, which I don't get. Why do so many people hate it? It's a sweet jam. I fail to see the problem. And to top it all off, you have pie, the worst of the desserts. Oh yeah, give me some gone-off fruit that's also somehow underripe and sour at the same time, and just sandwich that between two slices of cardboard, fam. I really want to ruin this already bad fruit. I have had so many pies in my life, and the nicest thing I can say is that I only hated the best of them, as opposed to loathing them like the rest. All this is to say, I declare war on pie. Now go out and eradicate the pie scum with fire. For the Perspective! I bet you weren't expecting a rant on pie and Thanksgiving in your Transformers review, now were you? Let that be a lesson to you. Expect the unexpected. I'm trying to keep you on your toes here. You should be grateful. Man, I should have held off on the video looking at the Studio Series Bumblebee figures with my brother till today, and had this video be Wednesdays. That way, I'd be reviewing 2 different Black Cheetors in a row. Now you may say that's stupid and pointless, and you'd be right, but did you think about this? I honestly have nothing. It's Kingdom Shadow Panther. You know, I'm constantly asking for figures that aren't based on the show characters just to add some variety. But this ain't it, Chief. Normally, when I ask for that, I still expect the figure to be some kind of character. But who the hell even is Shadow Panther? He really only exists to be a cheap and easy repaint of Cheetor, and that's it. Basically, in Japan, they wanted to make a toy Ravage from Beast Wars, but they didn't want to spend any money on retooling it, so we just ended up with a Black Cheetor repaint. And it shows in the character's bio and history, when basically anything that can be gleaned of the character came about decades later and boils down to he's a Ravage fanboy. And I just need anything more than that to get invested in this character. I do have to give the designers of this figure some props, though, for making this look very different from Cheetor in his robot mode. By changing how the paint is applied and using the banana yellow for his shoulders, they did manage to alter the whole feel of this figure. Really assisted by the fact that they seem to have decided that Cheetor's mutant head is Shadow Panther's canonical head. And I can say that's a very clever decision. It gives them a reason to use this head that will never go on another normal Cheetor again, while helping distinguish this figure. It's interesting in that it's very flat compared to how it's supposed to look. The mutant head was originally elongated like the skull of an animal or insect. This is just a helmet that's interestingly attached to the back half of Cheetor's normal helmet. This, combined with the new colors, makes him a striking and sinister-looking scoundrel. Honestly, this does look a lot better than the basic Cheetor mold. While this is clearly meant for Cheetor, the normal Kingdom version's colors are kind of lame. And the black is slimming, especially important in the legs where Cheetor is rocking some seriously stupid-looking parachute pants. These are still looking a little goofy, but it's diminished here. I still wonder why his crotch plate can fold forward, when it literally does nothing. Like, it barely gives him any more range into the legs and isn't required for the transformation. It's actually the opposite of required for that, only getting in the way and needing to be left alone. The black and silver paints on this thing somehow makes it look a lot more rounded than the Cheetor, with the wrists specifically coming across like cylinders now. It's all nicely done, and the way they've had the cat legs worked into the design is especially clever, making me think that this might have been something they planned to retool it into since the beginning. He still has the terrible cheetah's feet though, and I will never not hate these. They are too small and way too ugly. It makes standing this guy so much more of a chore than it has any business being, and here's my question. Why didn't they arc these up at all like this? They would literally only look better for like a fraction of a cent more per figure in terms of plastic. So ultimately, this looks cooler than the base Cheetor figure, though the Netflix version does put up a better fight against this. But the accessories aren't anything to be happy about. The only thing he comes with is his tail whip, which while for Cheetor felt like at least a bit of a clever reference to his Transmetal figure, was always kind of a crappy thing to include. It's dopey, it's lame, it's basically impossible to make the figure look like it's actually using the damn thing, it blocks the arm from bending, and if you lose it, it ruins the alt mode. It's not the most egregious piece of parts warming ever. It does work, it's just not got anything going for it that makes me want this over the gut or tail guns. When this thing was such an easy figure to produce, just Cheetor again, with black plastic, a less complex paint job, and a new front half of his face, they really could have stood to drop us a line and give us one more accessory. The gut or tail gun is all I'm asking for. Just one more thing. That would have gone a long way towards justifying this figure to my eye. Posability is the same as on the Cheetor, but it's been a long time since I did that video, so I'll cover this again. Head has tons of up, but limited side to side, though it's still a decent amount. A bit of forward butterfly that's kind of only there as part of the transformation. Maximum shoulders. Much better than 90 elbows. Wrist swiv. Legs kick forward and out to the side great, but no back. Under 90 knees, so that sucks. And the same Cheetor feet I just covered on Sunday. So this is a real mixed bag on posing. Some of it is really good, some of it really shouldn't have been half as bad as it is. It's the year of our Lord 2021. Limbs that don't pull a 90-degree bend should no longer be a thing. Hell, that standard shouldn't be the standard. Everything should be able to pull maximum or at the very least close to it. Transformation is a really solid one. Wave 1 of Kingdom was kind of peak Kingdom, before it just kind of devolved into, what other G1 stuff do we already have figures of, but not released yet? And, do we really need to try so hard on the Beast Wars stuff in this Beast Wars line? It's got some parts forming, but it's a tolerable instance of the stuff, though it would have been better without it. Outside that, the effort making this thing work was really put forward at the time. So the process here is simple, fun, and very successful at making a realistic-looking version of a cheetah. And boy, let me tell you, this is really uninspiring. It's an all-black version of Cheetor. What am I supposed to say? I think it might have been cool if they kept up with the silver accents he only has on his ass. But you know, that would be effort, and effort is hard, which would make this less of a cash grab, and we can't have that. They didn't even bother painting the mouth at all. That's just the pinnacle of laziness right there, when they already had the silver paint, and this is a cheaper figure overall to produce. Little to no initial design costs, less paint, fewer different materials. This should have had a little more care put into it. That's not to say that this is terrible, though the toes sticking out of the butt have always and will always continue to suck. But this is a solid-looking, well-articulated version of a Panther with surprisingly little to give away that it is in fact anything more than just that. But that's all just granted to it by it being copied off the original figure. This really needed more. And that kind of brings me to the main problem with this thing. It's such a cash grab. It's just Cheetor again, but cheaper to produce, with at the very least a new robot head. But that's just about the only place they really put in the effort to make this anything to consider picking up. I'm not saying to avoid this, but this isn't exactly anything you need. Unless you are in love with what you see, I say give this a pass and save your money for something else. This is not anything to hate, but if you have Cheetor, it's just Cheetor again, but without any real character bio, so it's less interesting. I just feel like you'd be better served buying something with a little more oomph to it. Not terrible, but do you need it? And that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough what I have to say. And I know, you know, what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please, share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.